Hi, my name is Lucas. I'm a student at UCF, and I was challenged with a wonderful opportunity to volunteer to help my community with volunteer service. For the project I chose, I decided to volunteer with Dividends, a program that works with Seminole County schools to allow volunteers to assist them as well as the teachers and students. Schools are often understaffed, and children aren't always getting the attention needed for their education. Volunteering at these schools allows the teachers to have more space to work with the students, as well as allowing the school to field more after school activities. These activities are important for the students, as not all of them have parents that are home after school, and having these activities helps the parents with that, as well as giving the students time to learn and connect, which allows them to develop their social skills and further their education. Originally, I was going to volunteer for the after school reading program, which is where many members of the community come to help the students read after the school hours end. But they offered me a position as a teacher's assistant instead, and I eagerly accepted. As a teacher's assistant, I was able to closely work with the students, as well as observe how the classroom dynamic worked closely. I was able to work with the students individually and help tutor them. Working directly with the students was great, but we quickly learned that it could also be very distracting, as there wasn't enough time for all the students to get individually tutored. I was only scheduled to volunteer during the class hours, so I took it upon myself to not be as distracting to the students. I primarily helped by grading the papers and organizing the classroom. Some of these projects included organizing folders and papers, as well as the books and registering new books for the library. The teacher I was helping had just come back from a vacation, and she was under pressure to catch up with the students, as well as grade many papers. I was able to help grade all of her work, as well as help other teachers out with theirs. What surprised me was how invested the teacher was in her students' personal life as well as their education. She was familiar with their parents and would sometimes even call them if someone was misbehaving. It reminded me of how important teachers are in the lives of students, especially in the early development of childhood. They shape their lives and early development. Some of these students spend more times with the teacher than they do with their own parents. And the experience was also very humbling for me. The work I ended up doing was not the most exciting, but it was what was best to help the classroom. I always wanted to make sure the classroom's atmosphere wasn't interrupted by me and their needs were put above mine. I'm very happy with the opportunity I was given. Thinking back at the time I had to volunteer at Goldsboro Elementary School, I realized from reading the book from our class how important the development of childhood actually is. This is when children start to develop their critical thinking and social skill, as well as their abstract thinking. I'm very happy with the opportunity I was given. Thinking back at the time I had to volunteer at Goldsboro Elementary School, I realized from reading the book from our class how important the development of childhood actually is. This is when children start to develop their critical thinking and social skill, as well as their abstract thinking. Making sure that children have the best environment to grow these skills is very crucial for our community. So much of their lives are spent in school during this important period of their development, and it doesn't often get as much attention as it needs from our own culture. I'm glad that I was able to help and was proud to be able to join the Dividends volunteer program.